This time, let me introduce another issue, which is the policies of economic development. Have you heard about the miracle of the Han River? Obviously, this miracle of Han River refers to the significant economic development from the 1960s to 1990s in South Korea. If we look at the simple statistics of South Korea from 1953 to present. In 1953, the income per capita of South Korea was $60 a year. And 10 years later, in 1963, $100. And 30 years later, it went up to $5,000. This is really significant because those days, the income per capita of $5,000 is the evil ceiling which most of the developing countries could not reach. For example, even Argentina or Brazil or Chile could not reach the income level of $5,000. South Korea was the only country that reached that evil ceiling, $5,000 income per capita in 1990. If I make any simple example, for example, Argentina. Argentina was the third largest economy in the world in 1920s and 30s. But now it's one of the third world countries now. So during these days, for 30 years, South Korea achieved a remarkable economic success. In 2007, South Korean income per capita reached 20,000. 10 years later, 30,000. These days, 33, 34, $35,000. If we look at some economic policies of South Korea by decades, in 1950s, after the Korean War, South Korea used to receive ODA for reconstruction. ODA means Official Development Aid. 1960s, getting ODAs and loans, borrowed money, and imported natural resources with these money. But in 1961, South Korea successfully borrowed money from West Germany for the first time, $30 million. $30 million. In 1965, Korea normalized relations with Japan. And because of strong US recommendation, both countries normalized its relations. But Japan did not like it, and Koreans did not like it. Anyway, so America strongly urged both countries to normalize in order to make the anti-Soviet, anti-Chinese alliance. After the normalization, Japan paid $300 million for compensation because Japanese colonized Korea for 35 years. Also provided $200 million as a commercial loans. Until 1971, 54% of the total investment to Korea was made by Japan and 26% by the US. And let me explain a little bit more about the borrowing money from West Germany in 1961. South Korean government asked West German government to lend some money. But since no banks or no third country guaranteed the payback of Seoul, because they did not trust Seoul government. So Seoul suggested, okay, you need some people for nursing and mining works. So we are going to send nurses and mine workers to you, and their salaries can be the mortgage or security. And West Germany accepted that proposal. So South Korea sent about 10,000 nurses and 10,000 mining workers to West Germany for about 10 years, from 1966 and to 1976. But look at this. Income per capita of Korea in 1960 was $79. Early 1960 was $79 a year. But mine workers in West Germany got paid $159 a month. A month. So great amount of money was received by the nurses and mine workers, and all of these money came to Korea. These are the pictures of the normalization treaty with Japan. This is a scene of the Korean president signing the treaty, and there were strong anti-treaty demonstrations not only in Korea but also in Japan. This is a picture of the anti-treaty demonstration in Seoul. Pictures are blurred a little bit, but I don't know why, but it provides the basic idea of signing treaty and anti-demonstration. In 1970s, from 1970s, South Korean economy became expanded, and competition with the global economies started until 1990s. Particularly in 1970s, South Korean economy expanded to the world export market. In 1970s and 80s and 90s, almost all the merchandise in American department stores and many department stores in Europe, almost all merchandise were either made in Korea or Taiwan or Singapore. But 1980s, with the global economic recess, so there was a protectionist trend by many advanced countries, capitalist countries, including the US and many Western European countries. So in 1980s, South Korea had an active diplomacy against the protectionist trend in Europe and the United States. But what about the 1990s? Now, South Korea already started to have competition with global trade powers, particularly Germany and Japan. In 2000s, South Korea became one of the advanced countries and particularly became a donor of ODA, Official Development Aid, from a recipient. This was the first in the world history, and only South Korea is the only one case, because South Korea used to receive money from outside, but now South Korea is spending money to help poor countries. And let me show you some statistics of the official development aid by countries. The United Nations are suggesting all the countries to spend of more than 0.7% of their GDP to help poor countries. And these countries are spending more than 0.7% of GDP. Sweden, Norway, Luxembourg, Denmark, and Germany. And South Korea is over here. Currently, South Korea is spending 4% of GDP to the ODA. So I think South Korea should need to increase more of the ODA to poor countries. But this is the percentage of ODA. But if we look at the volume of ODA, South Korea locates over here. It is 18th from the world. So the US pays the most, and Germany and EU institutions, and UK, Japan, France, Sweden, Netherlands, Canada, Norway, Italy, Switzerland. This order. These are the 10 largest ODA spenders. Again, let me repeat again. South Korea should spend more money on the ODA to help poor countries or countries that need more money.